can download like the podcast, but you can't download the video as easily.
Yeah, totally. Okay, well, welcome everyone. Welcome to another wonderful episode of the Unicast. You know, we're here chilling in my house. For anyone who's wondering what that big wooden thing in the background is, it's a bike trainer. That, you know, if you're sitting in the background wondering what this weird wood thing is. And if anyone wants to see, I think it's in the shot actually. I got my very own personal sauna, and it's in my bedroom. I have a sauna in my bedroom as of this weekend. I'm going to be using it every night my entire life. And my guest today is
Mos Hart.
The young Moses Hart, hanging out with me today. We're going to be chatting. Tell us about yourself, Mos.
Phil didn't plan anything.
He
needs an episode for this week.
This
and
episode
it's Sunday and I'm leaving.
is going to ruin our relationship. So just be ready for some really big drama coming out of this conversation. Mos, tell us about yourself, Mos. How old are you? How long have you been unicycling? How did you start?
I'm 16 years old, and I got a unicycle for my 9th birthday, I think, and I learned to ride, and then I never did anything with it after riding. And then, probably like 2018, when I was like 13,
How was that?
I started climbing, and Phil was one of the climbing instructors with the program that I was doing. And so I kind of... Then he quit shortly after
Unicycling's a cult.
and so then I kind of got back in touch with unicycling, and at that point kind of relearned and started learning tricks, and then from there just started riding with Phil like almost every weekend.
Yeah, we've ridden a lot. You've improved so much. So much to me that's like shocking. It's one thing to like, you're like, oh yeah, 2018. I'm like, oh my god. It's only been like 2 years.
It's like 3, yeah.
He's learned like he's learned my 20 years of tricks in like 2 years. From riding. The
problem is like, for a while I wasn't learning very many tricks very fast because I only rode like on the weekends.
That's
when
true.
we would ride.
You gotta ride more.
And so like I learned how to crank flip a couple months after I started riding with you. I landed my first flip down a 3 set in the end of 2018, and then I learned how to crank flip.
That was in Canada, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We went out for the Vancouver Muni weekend, wherever a few of us went up there, and we went to one of the skate parks on our last day, and you did your first flip down a 3.
It was a very small 3 set.
It was like the most when you want to flip a 3 for the first time, it was like the most perfect 3 set. Not too high, really, it was like great run
three curbs stacked on top of each other.
Yeah, 3 beautiful curbs stacked on top of each other.
And then from there, like, I learned to crank flip, and I did like 1 360 uni spin, but like never actually learned how to hand pass, and so I never could actually do them. And then probably starting like fall of 2020, I like actually started grinding, and that's when I've started to actually land tricks, I feel.
Yeah, grinding, apparently. I gotta figure that out. It just unlocks all your powers, apparently. As soon as you know how to grind, you can just do anything you want after that.
Grinding as in training.
Oh, grinding is training. Yeah, but you also get your grinds down, too.
I did start grinding, too.
Yeah. So
that's the one thing I can still hold over Phil, is that I can grind.
You really can.
And overflip and underflip.
You know, I've landed those.
But not very consistently.
Well, okay. This is what I was talking about. This is exactly what I was talking about. Yeah, but you've really improved a lot, though, Mos.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's fun. It's been fun to ride with you and watch you improve. Again, you know, it's very different being like an adult who has to work all the time and like I have to like take care of all my stuff and then I can ride. And
I landed. Sorry, keep going.
And yeah, I wish I had all the unicycling in my brain that I have now when I was exactly your age.
Yeah.
So I get to like live vicariously through you and your like amped energy, and you're just like pushed to land stuff because like you're there now, and you're there with all the things I didn't have.
Yeah.
Like at this time.
Yeah. Just like being able, like for the most part, being able to go out and ride my unicycle whenever I want is really nice.
You were about to talk some mad
Yeah, I
smack
did.
about a trick
I
really quick.
did.
Go ahead, get it out, get it out.
I did
Talk about the old people.
land a 540 on the trampoline today. A
Oh,
couple of them.
did you?
And
On
like
the
I
trampoline?
got my hand pass down, so I think like with a session or two I can get them consistent.
You know, I think that hand passing stuff's for the birds
think-
most.
I
For the
think-
birds.
I-
Colby Thomas doesn't know nothing about unicycling. Take your hand pass, put it in the garbage.
Colby hand passes a bit, but like when I think of hand pass, I think like Clement Pujol and Eli Burrell. Really.
He's got good ones, but if you watch like some of Colby's like really high end videos, honestly
you
Colby's
can't-
most of your
you
videos.
can't
He's most of them.
sedge triple without hand passing, because if you let go, the unicycle's just.
I bet someone has said tripled without hand passing.
I bet it would be very difficult.
I'm not saying it's not difficult. Anyone who's said tripled and is like is looking at me and being like, Phil, what are you talking about? You can't land nothing. I'd be like, that's fair. But
You almost landed a triple flip the other day.
that's true.
Okay.
I stomped on the pedals and I just need to I just need to grind more.
Yeah.
It's so close. It's kind of embarrassing actually.
Yeah.
Same thing with the full out flips lately. I don't know. I landed that full out flip double and all my power just went away with that.
You have to get this back.
Yeah.
I need to try those. I landed a full varial flip yesterday, which I was pretty happy about.
Did you? Was that with
Yeah.
our session?
Yeah.
Can you believe also, by the way, the weather is absolutely incredible today while we were literally being snowed on yesterday. Gotta stop playing Reds on Saturdays.
Yeah. You can't full out sedge varial. Or not, sorry, sedge varial. You can't full out varial.
Says you.
Well, you can't.
Do I need to go put my flip flops on and go outside and full varial flip for you right now?
You can't full varial flip.
I'm gonna full varial flip tomorrow. Everyone, you just wait.
Once,
Monday.
Once my skirt's head drops, then you can go out. And
Oh my god. Check it out Monday morning. Phil's guarantee full out varial flip.
I'd like to see it.
It's gonna happen. What's your style, Mos? What discipline do you prefer? Tell us about your how do you rank the disciplines? We obviously know you like street.
I do really like
How do you
street.
rank the disciplines?
I would say street is my favorite, closely followed. Not closely followed. I really like street, and then flatland, of course.
Yeah.
Because
It's a great way to warm up.
First you have to learn flat, not rolls, but tricks on flat ground.
Yeah, that's
which
a
then
better
you
way.
can- Then you can go and throw them off and stuff.
Everyone's always trying to play this distinction between like freestyle and flatland. It should really be like flatland and tricks on flat ground.
Yeah.
It's a completely different
I would say my second category would be tricks on flat ground, not flatland.
yeah. We'll get those rules someday, Mos.
Maybe I took my rollers off because they were destroying my shoes.
If we had one influential flatland rider in our entire region, we might be more interested in
That's
doing
true.
it. But we literally have none. I think like Isaiah rides flat, but I haven't heard from him in a while.
No, and I think he's like still pretty heavily like does freestyle.
That's true. He does do a lot of freestyle, and he incorporates some flat type stuff in his freestyle, his like rolls and things like that. That's a good point. What next, Mos? What's next for your riding?
I'm working on a video part. It's gonna come out probably not for a while because I can't land any of the stuff I want to land. But I'm working on it.
That's how
I'm
every
working on
great video starts, though, Mos.
I'm working on it.
I haven't landed this yet. I want to see if I can land it for the video, and then it's like the greatest unicycle video of all time, or close to it.
Yeah, I don't. Hopefully.
Well, and we need your videos right now, Mos, because like all we got is like Mimo and Pierre. I mean, we got Skirt kind of saving our lives a little bit.
Yeah, and
But
like
that's like single. That's like I love Skirt, but in a way, it's funny that it's like it's like the place for single trick clips.
Yeah,
on
it's
the
like,
internet.
and like on Instagram, there's like so many like skaters and stuff on Instagram who are releasing like a bunch of like day edit stuff, but there's not like a ton of actual video parts coming out.
Yeah,
anymore.
the big
like,
videos
even in like
are-
skate and BMX, like the people who are making them now is like definitely like Mimo Seidler,
And Pierre Sterney.
Pierre Sterney for
doing
sure.
a lot.
But like,
Pierre's videos are so high quality too.
yeah, they are. But like, I feel like unicycling needs more video parts. And like Scott Julian, like his eventually part was insane. And like every once in a while, someone will release their video part, but I feel like not enough people are doing it.
Yeah, come on, people. Record your videos. Get them out
That
there.
includes you, Phil.
Yeah, my video. It's gonna be out any day now. It's funny. I got a text from Noah out of blue. He's like, "When's your street video coming out?" And I'm like, "Wow, do people want to see me ride?
Yes.
Is that something that people want?"
We need an actual a street video. Like, the one thing that I'm trying like to not have in my video is like no tricks on flat ground and no tricks in a skate park. Like, I want a
That's
real
real
street
urban
video.
riding. Yeah.
Which is hard because you have to go find spots and then do tricks
That's
at
true.
spots.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than
But-
it's like our ride yesterday, where like, there's stuff to do there, and I just couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
That's the
And
type
like
of rides
even
I
there
always say.
wasn't like there's that ledge, but like is that ledge gonna be video part worthy?
That's true. It
Depending
is
on
just
what
a
you-
ledge. You can find a ledge almost anywhere.
Yeah, and like trying to find very unique spots is hard.
What would you say? This is a unique situation for me because I have almost always been like one of the fresher riders, and now it's like weird. I am like the experienced rider talking to you. Like I wouldn't say you're a new rider. You're in now.
Yeah.
You've definitely crossed the threshold of like new to unicycling to in unicycling to now you are a rider in unicycling. I don't know if this is a real metric for measuring this. This is just what I put in my head.
I like it.
One of the things we've stumbled around a lot is trick names.
Yeah.
We have found that my like old school upbringing to unicycling, and then Moses like more researched, more modern version. We find that we stumble into names now and then that aren't the same.
Yeah, like with blind versus like oppo or whatever. Because in Phil's mind, blind is the opposite of the way you normally spin. But in my understanding, which is more recent, like Colby and like Jack 7 were talking about it on Skirt like a couple weeks ago, it's blind is spinning towards your back foot.
Yeah. I get it. I think it's
But also, like, stuff like that is dumb because it doesn't transfer into unicycling like it does in skating.
totally skating or boarding in any way. And I remember like when Chris Hero I started the sim asim conversation on Facebook, and we started breaking every trick down like asim, non-sim,
Yeah,
spinning which direction,
I feel like-
and rotating, grabbing with which hand, and being sim or asim, and which direction you spin. We're like, my brain hurts.
Yeah, I
Does
feel
this
like,
make tricks different?
I feel like the biggest thing, like, for clarification would be, like, blind and normal spinning. Like, other than that, and, like, I grind front foot or I grind back foot.
yeah.
But, like, other than that, like, yeah, I did this rail asim with my left hand and right foot or whatever.
Yeah. Well, to put it in very simple terms for anyone who doesn't understand this blind stuff is like, on a snowboard, if you're going down the mountain with like your left hand forward, a blind turn would be spinning backwards, right?
It would
Or
be
turning
if you're
forward,
like,
turning towards
you'd
your
be
left, because you
turning-
can't see where you're going, or you can't see your landing as it comes around.
Yeah.
Whereas you turn away, you see your landing as you swing around.
Yeah.
And obviously in like bicycling and in unicycling, there is no, goofy foot, if you will. So your blind
Yeah.
has always been kind of associated with
I was thinking we should make, like, a video of, like,
spinning your wrong way, but now it's the opposite pedal.
yeah. I was, this is kind of related, but also kind of not, is, like, making a video of, like, things, like, all unicyclists hate or something.
Oh, yeah.
Or, like, people who mount with their pedal, like, in front and put their pedal on the front pedal. And
Yeah, I still get
hop
made
on the back.
made fun of quite a bit for
Or,
how
like,
I mount.
or how you mount, yeah, or...
Because I mount with the wrong foot, and
like-
the right way, but the wrong way for me, and then I roll into my right way.
Or, like, people
I could just start the right
who, like,
way.
hop with, like, both hands on the saddle or, like, hop towards the hand that they have on the saddle.
That's a funny one to me.
Like just,
Is
like, kind of
if you
like...
hop the same direction as your hand, because it obviously feels awkward.
For you, maybe, but not for the people who do it. But, like, the people who do it, there's not very many people who do it.
That's true. I think people learn quickly that, like, as a function of the physics in the human body, you just can't do as much
Yeah.
jumping that way. You have to learn to bend the opposite
And, like,
way.
it's kind of like... Or, like, both of us, we both spin... Or we both twist away from our front foot, which is supposedly the easier way. but we twist, I guess, because we have our right hand and we twist towards our back foot, like having to swing your arm like backwards behind you is harder than like being able to like hook it in front.
Sure, it definitely feels that way. I can see that. I definitely do this thing
like,
where I flare up.
Yeah, I think it's still easier to spin this way, even if it's weird with your arm, than to
spin towards
your front foot for like flip tricks.
Yeah. I was really, I've been slowly realizing that if I'm crank flipping and turning away from my front foot, my crank flips and those tricks are like crazy easier. And like I feel like everyone's been telling me this all my life.
Yeah.
But like I wasn't listening, and then we did that clip last week where I did the out flip with my left hand, which is left hand opposite foot blind. So I'm spinning left while flipping with my right front foot, and it was so easy to out flip. It was like shocking to me. Like it felt easier than even than my best out flips off of stuff, and I was like, it was like almost too easy to just turn and flip.
Yeah.
And then we were doing the inward burial flips, which is kind of the same way for me, and it was like, oh, that was so easy. And the crank flip was like thoughtless.
In my opinion, like I do spin blind naturally, and like I've landed like 2 tray flips ever, but like I'm getting like full out flips fairly consistently on flat. And like the tray flips I've landed, which I've had to land for the skirt games, they just like are so awful for me.
Yeah, you're like
yeah, and like I travel like so far forward with my tray flips.
That means you're just ready to sail down those staircases, Mos.
Except like doing tray flips down stuff does not look very good like compared to full out flips, because like full out flips are so clean. But I'm not willing to learn tray flips. I'd rather just learn full out flips.
Yeah, but like if you nix off tray flips, then you're probably setting yourself up from a harder, worse like fifth flip or sedge.
So as long
because not a lot of people are doing full out sedges. A couple people are, but most people are doing
as long as
tray
like,
style sedges.
I did an out 540 on the trampoline as well.
Oh, so you did your hand pass and you were able to do it.
Yeah, and I think as long as I can learn to hand pass, doing like fifth flips out isn't going to give me too much trouble.
When you practice on the trampoline, do you just bounce on the trampoline to throw a trick, or do you have like your trampoline like in the ground or elevated so you can like ride, bounce?
Yeah, I just like bounce. It's hard to learn how to hop, but once you learn how to hop, it's not too bad to learn tricks. But it's really hard to get a flip. You can like spin really easily, but like flipping on the trampoline is weird. Like crank flips and back flips, or like just doing like full out flips.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But like I've tried late
tray flips off of your
and like the bounce is like so sporadic. It's like hard to get like the pressure you need to like late flip.
Well, but isn't late flipping in the air?
I know
so you bounce up and you got your pressure.
Than you think.
Well, I'm gonna late flip first try on the trampoline.
Come
to the house. I'm gonna land that trick tomorrow. Full out varial flip.
Mm-hmm.
Full out varial flip, and then we'll come to your house and do a late flip on the trampoline first try.
Do it. I was gonna try to land Colby's set. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? There was his 540 to in spin, but I couldn't get my 540s in time. I was gonna do it on the trampoline and upload it, so people could all hate on me.
I wanted to do more stuff for the sets last week, and then I just got slammed at work. I put my set in, and me and Sam Thomas talked about being like the oldest guys doing skirt games. And yeah, we were like, let's get it going. And then he couldn't make it that week, and I put mine in. I didn't try any of the tricks live. So I'm gonna shut my door since my washer and dryer are going off right now during the recording. Really wise, really smart. What's your favorite trick, Mos?
Either like backflips or late backflips or underflips or full out flips. Also,
lots of good tricks.
Full varial flips. I landed like a couple of them yesterday, and they feel really good. But I would have a hard time like trying them off of stuff.
Sure.
It's a lot of spins.
Yeah.
Because like technically, like the unicycle is doing like a 540.
Yeah, and you're just doing the 180.
Yeah.
You get those 360 flips. You know,
I've been trying them.
that's the trick that Jacob Flansbury killed me with.
You have to get Jacob Flansbury on here. He would love. He's hilarious. He would love to be on here.
He's pretty funny. We could have a good time, him and I. But yeah, he killed me with the 360 crank flip in the fly competition in Colorado. It was so well done, Jake. It was so well done. And I flubbed. I flubbed my backside out spin.
Out backside.
Out backside spin. See, stuff like that. Old people talk over here.
I think that out backside inward small spin, is that what we decided to call it? I think that would be pretty cool. As well as like out backside 270.
Backside inward spin, I think is what it would be. Cause
it would be a small spin though, cause like
yeah. Backside small spin.
Yeah,
I think is what we settled on it.
But it would be
or backside small flip.
Yeah.
Cause like backside inward. Well, cause small.
It would be inward.
Small spin implies.
It would be inward because you go the opposite way of your seat.
Because then it can be a small spin. Because small spin always goes the same direction. Inward suggests that it goes the opposite way.
But wouldn't it like
it's a back, so it's inward because it's going the opposite way that I'm spinning and it comes back in.
Yeah, wouldn't that just be an inward small spin?
But it's from the backside though. Instead
it
of the front side.
It would be a backside.
Because if it was out here and just in front, then it would be a small
or
an inward spin, an inward varial flip.
Or inward small spin.
This is an inward small spin. No, it wouldn't be a small spin though, because it's still not spinning the same direction as me.
It would be an inward small spin, is what I'm saying.
No, because it's just an inward spin.
Okay.
Yeah. So, because like anything where it's turning in the opposite direction is used, just inward spin.
Wrong, but maybe
inward
I'm
spin,
wrong.
inward 3 spin, inward 5 spin. This is backside.
That's
inward.
not how Emil.
Inward varial.
I have what Emil posted on Discord when I was asking about.
Because
I'll pull it up.
Because an inward varial flip is the same thing.
Yeah.
The only difference is it's coming from the backside. So it's going to be a backside inward
But
varial
like
flip.
a 360, but where you spin against the 360 would be an inward small spin.
I'm not sure about that.
Let me see if I can find this. Okay, so this is what.
Because like a thing with like the small spin has to land seat out, and if you're doing it inward, you're probably landing seat in.
I don't think small
generally
spin has
speaking.
to land seat out.
Because like you're almost always starting. I could be wrong. I suppose you could start seat out for a small spin and then do a small spin and still be seat out. But it'd be weird, I think, to land a small spin seat in. I guess you could.
So there's what Emil said. He said, "Here it is again in one message." You can read that.
Okay, here's what Emil says. Ready to rip me to pieces, internet. Okay. Here's I'm gonna say this. Think of normal spin variations where you count the amount of spins relative to the rider. Okay. Think of inward as a spin variation where you count the amount of spins relative to the ground. Okay. I don't get why that changes anything. With that in mind, you can follow this. 180 is small. Yes. 360 is big. Okay. How does that change that?
So with an inward,
because you're talking about inward.
You
versus
count the
small.
unicycle to the ground, right? That's what he said. Inward, you count the unicycle to the ground, and just normal, you count it unicycle to rider. Is that what that says?
What's the amount of spins relative to the rider, or inward variations? All I'm simply saying is it like inward is. I could be wrong on this, but I've always thought that inward variations are the opposite of small, big, huge variations.
Yeah. So essentially,
like,
you subtract.
They're the opposite
you
side
subtract
of it.
a 180 from
so if it's
whatever trick you're doing. So like with the 360 and the inward varial, you call that an inward small spin because in the end the unicycle only does a 180 to the ground.
Yeah, but even in like unicycle tricks as this trick, an inward varial flip is already like known as the 180 with the crank flip. And so then a full varial flip would be the full out 360 version. So a full out varial flip is a 360 version. All I'm saying is that trick name has an established name already.
Yeah,
there's an inward varial flip which is already known as a 180, and then the full inward varial flip which is already known as a 360. So adding the small and the huge is like an extra unnecessary label. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, we can see what people say.
Yeah,
in the comments.
you let us know on the internet what you guys think. Am I totally full of crap? And again, this is maybe that thing. I'm going off like the old names, like whereas
Yeah.
in these old names, the 180 understanding, the 360 understanding is already like, in my opinion, a known part of the trick.
Yeah.
So that like that's whereas I feel like in those small spins, huge spins, big spins, the big reason that word is there is to let you know that you're spinning it the same direction
Yeah.
as your spin.
And so I think that's why you would call it inward. So let us know, is in 360 uni spin but you're spinning your body varying the opposite.
I think we get all the descriptions. The real question is an inward varial flip also an inward varial small flip?
Or small spin, an
Or-
inward
yeah.
varial spin, or inward.
Or,
varial
and
small
in that context, is the small unnecessary? This is why unicycling is weird and fun, in my opinion. Is because we literally all land these same tricks and we literally can't even figure out what to call them. Do skaters have all these problems? I bet they do.
Yeah, but I feel like also like if we give it like 10 unicycling like 10 more years, like whatever, like how much skateboarding has had to evolve.
Yeah.
Like eventually it'll all get leveled out.
Because, like, even in skateboarding, like, that skateboard already has at least one less variable of rotation than the unicycle, which is the wheel spinning, you know?
I mean, like kick flips and crank flips, I would say are equivalent.
Yeah, but, you know, you have, like, the skateboard goes this way, it goes all around, and then it can spin sideways, you know? And the unicycle, theoretically, can do all that stuff, too, but it also has the wheel moving inside that mechanism.
Yeah, that's
And that's what makes up all the stance garbage that we're always talking about. And I've always been of the opinion, like, in a lot of respects, I'm not sure if that stance stuff should matter relative to tricks. In some tricks, it does matter.
I think the only thing that should matter, like I was saying before, is like, are you spinning towards your back foot or your front foot?
Yeah. Yeah. Because, like, you know, we've always had this argument, okay, this person can land this trick easier than this other person, so should they get less or more points? Obviously, the answer is no.
Yeah.
But then if the person comes out, say like a Mimo Sealer, someone comes out and does like two full out flips,
Mm-hmm.
you know, one up the box and one down the box, the same full out flip. And then the next person comes up and they do a full out flip with one hand, and on the second full out flip, they do it with the other hand. You know,
Yeah.
one of us, we would probably say largely the second person has a lot more skill. But in theory, should they get more points in that scenario? Because it is the same trick.
I think a lot of that has to be like on what's like most stylish. Like if someone full out flips blind, you know, starts with their left hand full out flips, lands, and you know, you with your hand pass you catch with your right, and then like one rev and full out flips the other way, without like switching their hands around.
Sure.
Like in a flat comp, you're gonna give that person more points because they have
Probably.
more style.
Let's say, for the sake of this hypothetical argument, this is one trick line, not tightly back to back, one like up a mani pad, down a mani pad. There's no other tricks.
Oh, yeah.
You know, sorry, that's my phone, which is also controlling the recording. Everyone, my bad. I'm going to mute my phone, which I should have done in the first place.
Shoulda.
You know, all of us were great in this competition. We watch a guy full out flip up and then full out flip down the same way, and then we watch one guy get full out flip up and then full out flip down the other way, you know, using two different hands. Do those people get different points? In theory, they landed the same trick 2 times.
I think it has to do with like how clean and stylish. Like if the person who does it the same way lands no correction hops.
Let's
super
eliminate
clean.
all that though. Let's eliminate all those like human variables. Someone obviously might land it cleaner. Someone might land it more stylish. But you know, let's say we got Waylon Bat, Mimo Sealer riding back to back. Waylon Bat throws 2 full out flips back to back, and then Mimo comes up and he throws a full out flip and then does one with his opposite hand. How are we going to grade these 2 elite riders with perfectly executed tricks the same? Is Mimo landing a harder variation? Or is it really the same?
I don't know.
Because in one respect, the rider's doing the same, but in the rider's definitely doing one trick in one stance and then having to blatantly do a trick in the opposite stance.
I think it like comes down to like, as the judges of the street or flat comp or whatever it is, what looks more stylish and what looks better
Yeah.
to them.
Or
Because
is this an anomaly in this scenario? Would Is the answer obviously yes? Obviously yes. Both riders would just get these safe. If they landed
I think
stylish, perfectly clean, well executed, both riders would have just landed 2 full out flips.
I think it depends on whether or not we're going for like point systems for the difficulty of tricks I do, or if we're doing like, you know, a board of flatland judges who judge each rider differently, and then in the end they combine like for like the NAUCC 2019 flat comp, which I helped judge, like we all like watched, and then in the end of like each flat battle, like each of the judges personally decide who they thought would have won, and then whoever rider got the most votes would win that comp or whatever. So I think it just comes down to like, are we doing it off of a point system per trick, or are we doing it off of, because like if you were judging,
it's right here.
If you were judging that that street comp or whatever, and you saw someone full out flip the same direction twice and someone full out flip in opposite directions, obviously it's going to look more stylish if they do it in opposite directions.
I think every unicyclist would realistically give the individual who landed a full out flip in opposite directions more points, or they're going to put them a notch higher. I think it's clear to all of us riders that this individual is using an effort that necessitates more skill.
Yeah, and I think that's just what it comes down to, is what the judges end up thinking it is.
But maybe we come back to, again, kind of I've heard that argument a lot, like, oh, so and so, you know, like a rider is bad at almost everything else, but they can do incredible 720s. Like, obviously that's a pretty good trick, and they can land this trick consistently. Maybe they can do the 720s every which way. You know, they can do it on tire. They can do it left and right. But then as soon as you tell them to do a 540 left and right, they can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's so many tricks that are a person's chosen personal preference. And there's so much of that in unicycling.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it just comes down to whatever. Like, because I don't think a point system for unicycling, like, for, like, unicycle competitions, a point system doesn't make as much sense as having a panel of judges to decide what... Because a lot of it is, like, what looks cleaner and steezier. Because, like, if someone lands, like, a super sloppy trick with, like, and has to, like, hop out of it a bunch, and then someone does a trick that's, like, slightly less hard, like not a huge gap in like the trick difficulty, but something slightly less hard, but just has a lot more style.
Yeah.
Like, most people would vote for like the more stylish and cleaner thing.
Yeah. Okay, how's your preference on this one? We'll break this down to a simpler idea, because some people are also listening to this. So you have a crank flip. Obviously, you jump, you click, you flip the pedals, like it goes one revolution, you grab the pedals with your feet, and you land back on the ground. For anyone who's listening and not watching. What's your preferred crank flip? Is your preferred crank flip A, rides up, jumps huge, big explosion of the legs and the wheel, catches, lands, rides away? Or person rides up, jumps, big in the air, and it's like, whoop, it's like super tight, clean.
Like the one-footed rev type
They jump, they flipped it, they're almost catching it on their way up, and then they just, it's like smooth the way. Which to you is better?
Is like the second one where like they kind of like keep their feet really close and like do like the
Let's
one-footed
say,
rev.
we can clearly see this is a crank flip and not a rev. It's identifiable a crank flip, but it's like fast,
like,
tight.
A lot of people like Simon Barry and like even me sometimes, like if I'm really scared to like crank flip off something, I'll do like this really like tight crank flip where like you kind of keep your front foot on,
your
like
foot's
really
always
close.
like close almost, yeah.
And like, I think it just like comes down like the bigger, more explosive, like big, like no footer type crank flip is gonna look better than like a smaller, tighter, like.
See,
flip.
To me, a lot of it to me is about effort. I do think sometimes a trick can look big, explosiony, and awesome. I do like that. But sometimes when a trick is, like, I know the trick's big, but then it looks effortless. Like when someone just rides up and, a great example to me this is a terrible example though, is when Christopher Y does is it the 12 set? He flips the 12 set,
Yeah.
the big one, and is it 12 or is it 14?
I think it's 12.
I think it's 12. You tell us, Chris. You tear me apart, Chris.
You should get Chris on here, too.
But you hear that, Chris? Hear why? The people want you back in our lives.
I feel like it would be fun to get more people on the podcast, but instead of just you and them, invite me
get some
more
panels.
often.
We
Yeah.
can chit chat. You want to chat with popular unicycles as well. You want to get
Sure.
in. He wants to ride on my unicycle cloud tails. Coming back to the conversation really quick though, I personally find that a fast, quick, tight, and then sailing to the ground crank flip is my personal preference.
Yeah. I think again it depends on like the situation, and I think it's always just going to depend on the situation and like who's judging.
If I was in a comp, I would do that. I would always do the. I mean, I think a big explodey one can look great if it looks stylized. I definitely feel like you can kind of sometimes see if someone does a really stylized crank flip. I would say Eli Brill, for example, is a person who obviously can do every variation of crank flip, and when he does some more basic variations, you can see a lot of. He can like, I'm gonna think about it while I'm in the air, come back down.
I think that's why we have to have like 5 or 7 people on like the judging panel, so that everyone who can, voice their opinions on what to them looks best, and then
I have no idea if my knee's blocking the camera the whole time.
and then decide on like who wins the competition. Or whatever.
Yeah, I think judging is done pretty well, for the most part. We're always undecided. I think that's kind of where my tray flip conversation idea comes up, is because like, we all have these very different ideas on like what is good riding, or what is better riding, or what is better than this other version of riding.
Like personally, I think if someone full out flips, it's going to look a lot better than someone who would do a tray flip, because it's very clean, it's end to end. You're not like having to like stand up and get the seat out like before you do it. And like I think that's like a big thing, because I'm a street rider. I think stuff like that looks really clean. Like I think like a full out flip is like one of the perfect street tricks.
It's just a beautiful trick.
But like to me, doing a full out flip is easier, but I still think it looks better than a tray flip. But for a lot of people, full out flips are not easier, I think.
Yeah, I think the commitment to sitting on the seat and having to throw that trick off of something big is a bit more intimidating than something. To me, like a 3-spin always feels pretty safe. And so, like, being able to do, like, a tray where, like, I know no matter how I jump, I'm going to be able to get that unicycle underneath me.
Yeah.
There is something about that. But
somehow,
better,
somehow
easier? I don't know.
You have figured out how to
Spin without
3-spin
flipping.
off of stuff without flipping.
Yeah, it's my magic power. I can
Anywho.
3-spin off of almost anything without flipping my cranks. Maybe it's a curse. I don't know. I've been having a lot of trouble with crank flips and my full out flips lately.
You have.
And having Mos rides with me a lot, and anyone who's ever ridden with me would know that I put a lot of pressure on myself when I ride. So I get really grumpy. If anyone was in Colorado during the street
Colorado.
comp, I will kick a child out of my house. Don't you even start with me right now. Okay. You totally just broke my train of thought. What was I talking about?
You were talking about how angry you got in this.
Oh, yeah. So, like, I felt
Colorado.
like when we went to Colorado, I had all my tricks down pretty well. And then, literally, warming up, feeling great during the warm-up, and, like, right as the comp is about to start, I break one of my cranks. And I have to swap my wheel out literally 2 minutes before the comp starts. And I go to ride, and the cranks are different than my other ones.
It wasn't like so much the cranks, because you were riding like the ASIMs versus the Groovies.
Yeah.
It was like more like that brand new tire.
Yeah, there was like a lot of variables. Like it was a different wheel with
Yeah.
different cranks and
Anyway.
different pedals, and it just
And also
stuffed
you changed from Advanced Street into Expert Street like shortly after, or like shortly before the Expert Street comp happened.
Well, because there was
started.
only like two
There were,
people in advanced or something like that.
There was like, and like there wasn't. It was like me and AJ and like that August kid. And,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
A couple,
And I
they
just-
were like all actual kids, and like.
I just
Phil-
want to ride with people.
I think.
Despite my grump.
I think you going. Obviously, you would have destroyed everyone in the advanced, and like. Even if you were having a bad day, you probably would have beat. You would have at least placed second. in advance.
Well,
Versus
and someone says too, if I would have just like landed a couple crank flips off of some of those later ones, I probably could have still beat Nolan in that comp.
yeah,
He was saying
Noli also had kind of a bad day there.
Yeah, and it happens too. You know, I feel like some days I am 100% feel on a good day I'd say I could put myself in that expert category, and on a bad day I'm like beginner category practically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is just, are you having a good day or are you having a bad day?
I think that's probably the
and
thing.
like also they put the street comp like at the very end, so like we were
We
exhausted
rode all week.
from the week. But it was fun. I like Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado was fun. The skate park was fun. It was really fun to ride in that skate park where you've seen all the classic Colby Thomas stuff. Also, that skate park is like not small.
No.
If you see Colby doing full out flips off that like 8 set and stuff, and you're like, maybe it's like a small park 8 set, and you show up and you're like, what? This is like a real staircase.
Yeah.
This ain't no park case.
It's not a 3 curb stack.
Yeah, no, totally. Mos, you haven't been to a Unicon yet.
I haven't.
Are you hoping to be able to make it to France
for
Unicon?
I really want to.
I think it's going to be really awesome.
I think so. I'm saving up for it.
And France is cool. I don't know if you've watched the Great British Baking Show on Netflix.
I have.
If you haven't watched the Great British Baking Show, guys, it's wonderful. Anyway, I just finished season 6. Had a French woman on there.
I've watched like 3 episodes.
Well, you should watch more. Well, honestly, stays wonderful.
We don't have
Netflix. Well, get with it. It's 2021. Everyone's got Netflix.
I know.
Even people who don't have Netflix because everyone has Netflix. If you want a Netflix login, if anyone on the internet wants a Netflix login, hit me up. That's how the world works now.
I think that's like super illegal though.
I don't think it is.
I think it is.
Netflix, you can share your accounts with people.
I think you can, but you're not supposed to.
Come to my house, Netflix. Find me. I dare you. Let's do it. We'll throw it down in my front yard. It'll be fun. Me and Netflix going hard at it. What element of Unicon are you most looking forward to?
I think just like meeting all of the people who like I watched their videos and just like hanging out with other unicyclists. Cause like all of like I didn't compete in like a ton of stuff at nationals, but like just being able to like go and like ride with Colby Thomas and Jack Seven, and Eli wasn't there. I was disappointed Eli Brill didn't come. Eli, you should have come.
To Colorado?
Yeah. But just like being able to meet people like that and like see people actually like throw like gnarly tricks was insane.
Yeah, it was really wonderful. And then especially a couple of those nights that we just went out beforehand. We just went and seshed.
Yeah.
And Jack Seven, those guys, they're throwing like those bananas coasts up the ramp.
And like
it's crazy. It
was like the first time I had seen like
do that.
whips in like real life and like
yeah.
Just seeing like and like a lot of those guys have like a lot of their tricks like super consistent.
So consistent. Like you think you ride all the time. You watch them throw these tricks so casually, and you're like, what in the heck? And then Sean Minter too. He landed that like really crazy trick in the skate park when we were just messing around. It was like the 540 kick flip.
It was Trey kickflip side, I think.
Yeah,
it?
yeah, and he did it like static.
Yeah.
And
like he hadn't ridden in
ridden months, and he just like pulled it out, and it was like one of the like iconic tricks landed at the event too, I thought.
And like Jack's having like full out flipping the 8 stair like first try.
Oh,
like in the expert comp, like he like triple flipped off that like big block and then full out
and
flipped
oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Canadian rider who also flipped the set. No pads or nothing. He like flipped it. Like sorry, like I'm so sorry. Like flipped it. No, Loic doesn't wear pads or anything. He doesn't wear knee pads, shin pads. He doesn't wear a helmet. He wears a helmet sometimes.
He wore a helmet when he did that rail, like the 9-set rail.
But I literally can't even imagine. I'm like afraid to ride without my knee pads.
Yeah.
It's because one of those years I went to Madison and like I literally showed up at the like event headquarters and like, hey everyone, I jumped on my unicycle and like got my shoelace caught, hit my knee on the cement like 30 seconds into NAUCC, and I was like pretty much done for the rest
Nice.
of the event. That is, I should just wear knee pads when I walk around in my regular
There you
life.
go.
That would probably help me, especially since, 30 years old. In unicycle years, I
Yeah.
might as well be dead. Gotta give up.
How old is Chris Hurway?
Chris Hurway? I don't think he's 30 yet. I'd be surprised. I think he might be 30. Or might be turning 30 this year. I don't know. Chris, how old are you? Should we look him up? Should we look up Chris Hurway?
I don't know. Where would his birthday be posted?
I don't know. I don't know if it's posted anywhere. Chris Hurway. Yeah, unicycle. It's even on Google. You know he's popular.
They, like, Hippo has that one video, like, their extreme unicycle tricks video or whatever that has, like,
He's
a
got
million views or something.
He's got his own Wikipedia page.
Oh, does he? Does it have his birthday?
It does. So he's 25?
What's his...
26.
26? February 1st, 1992.
I was trying to not say it on the internet, Mos, but that's
Sorry.
fine. I'll go and edit it out later.
You can go to Wikipedia.
I mean, obviously, you can just look it up on
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 Wikipedia.
Wikipedia. But I don't. You guys let me know if you care about all this internet privacy stuff. By the way, I'm always, even the mails like I was like talking about you, and Meal's like, we know who you're talking about.
He's
Phil.
29.
He's 29. Well,
He
it
just
shows
turned
that-
29.
Shows that I'm really bad at math too.
There you
Great.
go.
The internet's learning a lot of stuff about me. I don't want them to know.
I know Phil's birthday, everybody.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
easy.
wish
It's May
him-
1st.
Wish him
It's
a happy
coming up.
birthday.
My birthday always coincides with the annual unicycle day / unicycle week. If anyone doesn't know, unicycle week is always the first week of May. I think International Unicycle Day is also May 1st. And if it's not, I think it might be the end of the week. It's like the first weekend of May.
Nice.
My birthday's on a Saturday. I'm pretty excited about that this year. Mos, what do you hate the most about unicycling?
Trials.
Just
Just kidding.
Mos just wishes he could do tricks without hopping. That's all it comes down to.
No, I think what I don't like personally with my riding is when I land stuff and it's not like super clean. Like I'm kind of obsessive over trying not to get a bunch of hops, and that's why I like to ride with the 110s. I always tell Phil switched to 125s, but
No.
I tell Phil he rides with his big fat 130s.
Never going back.
to
We
130.
hit that button really quick. God, all these stupid things trying to make noises in there.
It's hot, Phil. That's really hot.
Yeah. It's nice, right? Mos is just seeing what the sound is like. If anybody unicyclists want to come hang out at my place and do a podcast episode, it's gonna be like the real Joe Rogan experience right now. We got the sauna going on.
Does Joe Rogan have a sauna?
Joe Rogan has a sauna at his place, and he lets his guests do it. He also has an archery shooting range, an indoor archery shooting range.
Dang.
So all those people shoot archery and stuff before they do their podcast. Unfortunately, we can't indulge in all the other adult things they do, and that's not the kind of relationship we have, that mentor-student type of
I don't know.
relationship.
I'd say
I
we're
think
friends.
we are friends. We are friends. I will say, I don't know if this is a weird thing to bring up, but it's funny. We do this activity. It's totally normal for us. And we just do it. But the most awkward moment we've ever had for me was when we crossed the border into Canada.
And you're like, me and my buddy Mo.
It wasn't us. It was the guard.
Yeah, it was like...
It's kind of I think it's an American mentality. But it's
But there's
why
this
is a man
30
and a child
this
going to Canada?
30-year-old man was taking this 13-year-old kid into Canada.
We literally had a note and everything, and we're like,
Yeah, I mean, we got it notarized.
We had it notarized. We're like, we're just going to a stupid event, in Canada. It's just, we need this note to cross the border, just to go to the event.
He let us over. He was just a little...
Yeah, it's just weird. He's like, can you convince me that you guys know each other? And we're like, listen, I feel weird. I feel like I'm the only person who feels weird right now, and that's not cool. But we had a great mini weekend. We saw the most insane mountain unicycling with Ryan Kremsader and Chris Holm, who was
The Chris Holm.
you've heard, guys.
I talked to him.
Everyone's heard the story already, but Chris Holm was putting the pressure on Ryan Kremsader, and that was a beautiful thing to watch.
Yeah.
Like I could imagine like Chris, this is like your sleeper hit to slink away and then come back out of the shadows. But it'd be fun for like Chris to come like back to street. And like Mimo and like Waylon, those guys are like ready to throw in hard. And Chris like throws like 1080 down a set first go. And they're like, oh my god!
We gotta get Dan Heaton back in the game.
Or Dan.
That's who we have to get. Dan.
You hear that, Dan?
He said he wasn't gonna listen though.
You hear that? People want to hear that you're alive, Dan. They want to know that you still exist, okay? And they want to see you on the show. And I don't want to have to bend over backwards to do it. He's never going to watch this. That's okay. Me and Dan Heaton, we're texting about doing one of these. We'll see.
Phil's on texting terms with
He's
Dan
a
Heaton.
busy guy. There's a
what
pandemic going on. What?
What does Dan Heaton do?
Dan Heaton is the manager of a Trader Joe's in Bellingham.
I knew he worked at Trader Joe's, but
That's probably too much personal information about someone. That might get a beep over it, but we'll see. Everyone knows he's the Trader Joe's manager.
I know. I knew he had history in Trader Joe's.
I think him and his wife actually might both be Trader Joe's managers.
That's sick.
Yeah. He seems to really like it, too. So.
I mean, I believe it.
Yeah.
Seems like a nice guy. Still haven't met him.
One day.
We were driving through Bellingham on the way back from Canada,
oh yeah, that's right. We tried to get a hold of him, and he was I think he said like something had came up that day. But what else do we got in the book here, Mos? Mos, is there anything independently you want to bring to the podcast? You keep seeing it, and you're like, Phil doesn't do this on his podcast.
You should have multiple people on at once.
Yeah, that's
and you should try to get.
It's been a pandemic.
Yeah, I mean, STFU London does it.
That's true.
They just have them all call in or whatever.
But I am doing a little bit of a different.
Even if you do like get some other people on and just like have another person on, but have me as well. That could be.
Yeah, obviously we're gonna have more episodes.
It depends on how well this one goes.
You know, especially if people are just like not getting a hold of me and stuff like that. Sometimes.
Yeah.
The person who I dropped the ball on though is Eric. Me and Eric he's just.
I like Eric.
Yeah, he's been doing all the stuff down in all the muni down there. And Eric, that's totally my bad. Stuff just got really busy. Yeah. So we've done a lot of street and trials talk. I feel like, but we haven't done any muni talk, and I want to do some muni talk. And then probably Noli too. Noli's like, oh yeah, schedule me like 4 weeks out. While that might sound like reasonable to most people, when it comes to talking about unicycling like this, I'm like, do we gotta treat this?
I don't know. I feel like Noli. I can see.
We're not trying to talk shit about you, Noli.
I can see Noli being also like fairly busy because
he's busy.
He does
a lot. He does a lot.
He still does do that. He like still manages that tea stuff.
He's doing all his tea stuff, and of course when you visit with Noli, he's always doing a million activities, including unicycling. Yeah. So he's a busy guy. You're a busy guy. I wish you put all that other junk aside, Noli, to be more unicycle friend to me. That's what I want. This is all jealousy on my part. Selfish jealousy.
Phil, here's the question: when are you going to make your unicycle video?
I go back and forth. I really should.
You have that song you really like.
I do. I have a song. I've had the song picked out for like 2 years now, and I still love it. And I still like envision unicycling. Oh, I have those two songs, but I still have the one song, the hip hop one that I really like. I'm not gonna tell anyone because I don't want to steal it. Getting a call from my brother. Too bad. Can't talk to you right now. He's probably asking. Oh, he's wondering where I'm at because it's 4:12. We probably gotta wrap this one up. Nice. Right. Wait. Let's look through the notes here really quick. If there's any final questions we want to go over. Oh yeah, some of this is unrelated to unicycling in my notes here. That's why I wanted to set up the GoPro, is because one of these days we're going to do the one where you and me, we're going to go through others' riders' videos.
I think that's a good idea.
And I wanted to have that set up on the OBS and all this, but I'm still learning how to do this, guys. I'm amazed I got Emil's video in time. I don't know if that beginning part will make it in. For anyone who doesn't know, like, I had to do some editing with Emil's audio and video, and I'm not an editor. I've never done this stuff, and it was like, I was up till like 3 a.m. Making it right. And then it all came together perfectly. And I see exactly why people use Premiere instead of any other video editing software.
Premiere Pro is pretty nice.
Something tells me that Premiere, every problem I've had with video and audio editing, Premiere probably just has a way to solve all of those problems.
It's really nice. It's hard to learn, but it's once you've figured it out,
Yeah.
you can do a lot of stuff with it.
What trick? What trick that you currently do not have to fit clothes off? Do you want to land?
Realistically, like what am I?
No, I want I want your most unrealistic, but like you would actually put in the work, like coveted trick.
I don't know. I think, like anytime I see like Waylon do like full out sedge doubles or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that's like I will always love like full out tricks because of how clean they look, and I think out 540s will still look good, but like getting like out sedges and full out sedges would be insane.
I agree.
And like,
Those are
but like
pretty good.
realistically, I think right now I want to get 540s, fifth flips probably, and also like full out flips something larger than a curb. And I have some rails. I have some rails picked out that I still need to go hit.
Yeah, you definitely got to. I'll be there to film.
Great.
I feel like everyone's like almost annoyed with me by now. They're like, God, will we just grind a stupid rail by now?
I know.
I've been talking about it.
I know lots of good ones.
All these clips in the background of amazing rails that I'm just ignoring. You know, for me, tray, overflip.
Overflip or underflip? Underflip is easier, supposedly.
No, tray, overflip. I feel like it's like the same as the tray flip, but it's like the Maxine Peabody used to do them. The tray, overflip, and it's the one of the most beautiful ideas in my mind, which is like essentially doing literally two different tricks but in the air.
I think that I mean, I'm getting kind of close to hick overflips.
Yeah, you should try it. You get it.
I mean, I was trying tray underflips, blind tray underflips, because Jack set that a while ago, but I wasn't actually that close.
You should session to more the late out flips. I think once you like have the late out flip down, because you get your late flips down, no problem. That's gonna explode like possibilities for you.
I agree with that, and I think just trying to figure out like more like techie street stuff is gonna be the key. I have a couple of things that I'm happy with.
Yeah.
For my video.
Yeah, I'd say so. I also, and then I have like a few, as you know, a couple clips in mind. Just gotta land them on film.
Yeah.
But you'll see. One day, internet world. Well, Mos, I think we should.
Alrighty.
Should we wrap up?
Sure.
Thanks for being here, Mos.
Thanks.
This will be a good episode coming out this Friday. You all know that because you're listening already, but. Thanks for being here. Till next time.
Yeah. Oh, if you want to follow me on YouTube.
Oh yeah, follow Mos on YouTube and Instagram. Tell us, Mos.
My YouTube is Mos Hart, and then my Instagram is Unicycle Mos.
Unicycle Mos.
And
MOS.
And eventually, I will put a video part out on YouTube.
Yeah.
Maybe when that comes out, we could go and like talk about every trick if my video is any good. That could be.
We'll go break each club down one at a time.
Yeah, like every trick and like. Because that's what I want to see with like Mimo Seedler's like good religion clip is someone, which maybe you should do, is like
I would like to do that. Oh, we're gonna give away this song. Yeah, Ed, you got to get me on so we can break down some videos. It'll be fun one of these days.
Yeah.
Cool.
Alrighty, thanks for having me.
It was good to have you here, Mos. Till next time.